Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Very sorry about that. Always try to start on time. Have got my audio working this time, which is good. Always try to start on time. It's always one little sneaky thing. I couldn't work out why that's not working. Bugger, something's just stopped on me too. Not sure why that one has. Was working and it's not now. Not sure what I've got to do there. Might just give me 1 sec. The ticker will keep playing down the bottom. I'm just going to try one thing very quickly. It was working and now it's not, and I'm not sure why. Alright, we're back anyway, and hopefully that will boot up itself in a minute. We had a couple of little gremlins in the system at Bathurst. Thought I'd ironed them all out and one's come back. Doesn't look like it's going to work either. Anyway, so we will not be having the comments, but please, I'll be able to see your comments and go from there, especially if you're on YouTube as well. We'll be able to keep across all of your comments. I apologise. I know a lot of people enjoy that, but doesn't want to work at all right at the minute, which is very frustrating to get your comments. But please, if you are enjoying the show, comment and we will be able to get them. I'll be able to read them as they're coming through on the phones and keep across them that way. If you watch on YouTube, I've actually got the YouTube feed going on the side. It is starting to do something. With a bit of luck, it may actually work. It might be working now. It's come up with a colour, but that's the wrong one. And there, comments are back. Love technology. We'll turn Ashley off for a sec. Rightio, big show, huge show. Got plenty going on everywhere. There's been a big week of racing. Ashley Haines is going to be one of my guests. You can see that there before, but we've got plenty of other stuff to cover off on. He hopefully he's read that text message. I did go from there. I of course was in New Zealand for the race by Betcha. All the hats I should have, and I haven't got that hat either. There's a few that I don't have. I do have a new hat actually. Barristock are great supporters of mine. Ashley's good, so that's good. That's clearly coming through. Oh yeah, through there. I better turn this one off because that's going to confuse us too. But yeah, a new hat from Cambridge Stud. Joe Pace. Probably should have got you one, Joe, because they didn't cost. But yeah, nice little black number actually. Might leave it on for just a wee bit, just for Joe. We've got other hats we'll be putting on through the show as well. So massive well done to Cambridge Raceway. Outstanding job. Both them and Brecon Farms looked after me outstandingly. I can't thank them enough. Hospitality, but also catering for anything that I need. So yeah, make sure they definitely looked after me. Ken and Karen, they had a brilliant cocktail party on that the night before, the Thursday night before. Wasn't there for that, unfortunately. I was a little bit late to get into Australia, into New Zealand, but I was there for it, so we were able to see that. But everyone there said it was brilliant. And then great night of racing. Unfortunately for the track and everyone involved, the weather was just horrible. It's the only way you can describe the weather. It was just didn't stop. Most of the locals weren't worried. They weren't worried about the races standing up. That part was never an issue for them. They were very comfortable that the races would be fine. But yeah, it was just very trying conditions for everyone out there. And yeah, I think well done to the participants for putting on the night, because if you were there, you'd understand. But yeah, it was bad. And you can see by some of the photos, and we'll get onto those in a sec with Ashley. But yeah, it was toweling down all night, so plenty happening there. We've got 11 people watching. Jack Joyce, Zach Steenhouse, saw Zach the other day inspecting horses at Lower Long Farms. John O'Donoghue, I reckon John O's doing some Bonds ads. Actually, we might have to get the male model on very, very soon. I'm pretty sure there's some Bonds ads sneaking around, and John O might be one of the models in that, cracking a stock whip, I think. If it's not him, it's his twin brother, but I reckon it could be him. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Big shout out to Beck Bartley, horrible fall at Bendigo Wednesday week ago. So hopefully she's okay. I haven't had an update there, so hopefully she's okay. Michelle Hargraves, hello to you. But yeah, it was a terrible fall for Beck. I haven't got that down on my notes either, so hopefully she's okay. Yeah, an unfortunate accident that did happen in turning for home, so one that couldn't be missed. Massive week though. One of the things I want to highlight, and it keeps catching my attention. So if you're not aware of it, I think that's the wrong one. Hang on, I've just got to get the right footage up very quickly. It's yep, it's this one here. Mark Barton officially trained his first winner the other day. Oh, that's on the wrong channel. We'll go to that one there. It's in the it's at the widest horse, the grey horse, got its head up. I'm sure Mark would like to put a better set of rings or an underdraw on it, but it's got its head up, coming down the outside. So this obviously is at Ellerslie. It's been ridden here by Jasmine Fawcett. Only just gets there in the last bound, but I think hats off to Mark. I think it's a mighty effort. He's finally trained his first winner. And if you wanted to be on trackside, if you're on Twitter at all, it's one of the great channels to be actually able to watch or follow is actually Trackside NZ. So Trackside NZ, especially if you want to see all your results, they'll show you all the results as well. But there's an interview there with Mark, which was on the back of Cambridge. He was there well and truly after the last. He was one of the last people to leave. He was in the last race, then he had a bit of time in the stewards room as well. So he had plenty going on. And yeah, he was there, but then bright and early the next morning at Ellerslie, got his first winner. I don't reckon he would have felt a thing. I reckon he'd be up and about and pretty confident. So I think that's a great little story, that is. So one of the highlights from the weekend of racing in New Zealand. But of course, the Tab Trot taken there by RC Phoenix. We will touch with Ashley in a minute, and then also we might talk on Leap to Fame a bit later on. But of course, the powerful son of Better Delight, he's a jet. The Kiwis were in awe. The comments coming from some of those trainers were just unbelievable. They couldn't believe how good a horse he is and what he was able to do. So yeah, pretty exciting there for him. I'll say about Leap to Fame, what a mighty job he does. Of course, Woodland Stud, great supporters of mine, great supporters of the industry. Full stop. They've had a big couple of weeks as well. Of course, with Leap to Fame, a couple of nice, impressive little Better's Delight horse that I might touch on with Mark Barton Andretti, winning earlier in the night over there in New Zealand. And I must say, stay tuned, because with the nutrient sales, there is also a couple of horses to highlight there, and one of those is Andretti. The other horse, of course, is RC Phoenix. There's a full brother to RC in the sale, so you be able to be aware of that. But with the the Nutrient Race series on, 7 individual winners, or 7 winners of the heats were Woodland Stud bred. 3 for Betters, it just continues to get better and better. And then also three for Better's Delight, 3 for Down by the Seaside, another sire on the rise. And I think, one of the best sires we got, Sweet Lou, had the 1 win. So not exactly sure how many heats there were all up. There was 3 for 11 heats, and 7 of those were won by Woodland Side horses. So just an amazing effort that is there. Mark Day, Greg Montgomery, anyone gets in, Aaron Hellcroft, please, want to fire a comment in, we'll get involved in it as well. So they have had a massive weekend, the team at Woodland Stud. And while I'm onto that, and with my friends with NZB, we'll do the right thing by everyone here. We'll swap over to that tile there. We'll go to that way. There is actually an online auction at the minute, and a powerful son of Better's Delight is Marketplace. You've got the opportunity, if you get onto Gavel House, to actually purchase both the mother. Why is that? Oh, because it's onto that one. Right. The mother and a weanling full sister. So that's a weanling full sister that I'm on right there. She's Meta Reserve at $65,000, so she's actually on the market. But then if you scroll through to lot 14, there is 19 lots on there at Gavel House. But Cullen Who at $87,500. She's pretty close to her reserve, I would imagine. So she's a legit sale. She's not giving away. She's in file to Better's Delight, so you've got the opportunity of being able to purchase a horse there as well. So that's lot 14, Cullen Who. That's on the online sale now for Gavel House. You go to standardbred.gavelhouse.com and follow the links. That sale finishes Wednesday as a rule. There's a countdown clock here somewhere. Sorry if you're watching this and you're getting giddy, but it does finish on Wednesday. So yeah, so be across that. I'll actually see if I can find it by going back. You got 1 day and 22 hours left. I'll actually show people so they can see. 1 day, 22 hours. So yeah, Wednesday, because today's Monday. So yeah, so 4 o'clock Australian time, I would say, is the best way to roughly say it, and you won't be far off there. So good luck to anyone that's involved in that, and to the potential sellers as well. Yep, so go from there. There's plenty of others on there as well, though, don't worry about that, and quite a few of those horses are on the market. But yeah, headed up by lots 1 and 14. Cullen Who and a daughter of Cullen Who by Bettor's Delight, making it a full sister, the super exciting marketplace, bred by Woodlands. Got the hat on. He just keeps getting the job done, the king does. Haven't seen Hughesy, not sure if Hughesy's watching on the YouTube channel or not. He sometimes fires a comment in every now and then. There's 3 people, 4 people watching, so he might be one of those. I don't know, but yeah, Woodlands winners will be back this week. I missed it last week. Waiting to hear from Lukey Whittaker. We'll be back next week as well with that. So plenty happening this week, I hope, with Lukey going forward from there. Okay, little error happening there. I'm not sure what that one is about, but anyway, it should be okay. So, I know what's going on. So if you are watching on YouTube, there could be a little bit of glitching, but that's fine. It's just because of my settings are a bit different at the minute. Should have changed them back, but anyway, it'll be fine. Yep, go from there. Rightio, done. Right, we've got a massive week of sales, as I said, for Nutrient, and I've got quite a few people selling horses with me. Aldebaran Park have got 16 horses going through the sales this year, and you can see them all there listed there. There's 2. There's one there that's doubled up. I'm not sure which one it is. There should be one there that doesn't have a name of the fillies, but I'm not sure. We might have actually missed one there by the looks, I think. So yeah, there is actually an extra filly there. Marie's done that one, and I shouldn't. No, I'm not going to throw Marie under the bus. I will get that up. There is actually an extra filly. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're missing one filly off that list. If you bear with me for 1 minute, I'll actually be able to tell you that filly. We'll just grab that off there so people know that I am still here. Whoops. Hopefully, I've just got to try and get into this with the sales on. I think I've said this a few times. There's reasons I can get into certain stuff. I have something's going on, and occasionally it comes back to cause a bit of grief that I get into a back end, and I don't want to be in a back end, which we're not. So I just get that last lot number up. I apologise. It's actually for Wyndham Stud. I know the filly, and I do apologise for everyone that's involved there, but we'll fix it up very, very quickly once we can get to Aldebaran Park here. That's their draft there, and I'll put that tile back up and tell you what the other horse was as soon as I can find it. It is lot 271 is the other filly that is missing off there, and that is the used to me at a non-compass Mentis. So yeah, one of those fillies is missing, but we'll fix that tile up before anyone else sees it after tonight. But yeah, contact the team at aldebaranpark.com. They're only on aldebaranpark.com. Yep, Zach's onto it. Yep, the used to me filly. So yeah, honest mistake, that one. We were doing these tiles up pretty quickly just to try and make sure people could visually see them. So yep, lovely filly she is too, and of course a great job used to me has done. So thanks very much, Zach, for getting involved. That's why this show works and works best. The more people get involved, the more people see it, and away it goes from there. So it continues to grow. So that's the draft for the team at Aldebaran Park going forward. Yep, that's it. So make sure you get in touch with the team. Duncan McPherson, his name will get mentioned again in a minute. Now, lost a hat, so it's not too bad because it is getting close to winter. Don't mind it when you can do it, but this was Marie's idea, was to put this one on. But the team at Yabby Dam Farms have got 11 horses now. Unfortunately, one filly no longer in the draft. She's not quite right, I think, so she's going to miss out. But of course, you'll see them there. 3 colts and well, it must be 8 fillies now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 fillies as well. International bloodlines right across there, everywhere. Some beautifully bred horses as well. So make sure you get to check out the Yabby Dam Farms draft. You can actually just go to Yabby Dam Farms and follow it to the yearling sales. You can also, like any of these, you can just go to the, got the wrong tiles up. Hang on, back, hit the wrong buttons, unlike me. Right, we've got to go into here, we'll turn that one off. That there is the Aldebaran ticker there, just down there, so they still have their 16, and we'll go to the Yabby Dam Farms one. Down there with 11 yearlings, so make sure you go to Yabby Dam Farms to go from there. Dylan Ferguson, hello to you, mate. I've got to catch up with Dylan. They're doing some good things there, and did hope to catch up with him the other night. It was a bit wet, and then after the race, he was in no state to be anywhere near. He was the strapper, and he was loving every minute of it, and so he should. Did an awesome job, as everyone did at Cambridge Stud. So yeah, so 11 yearlings going under the hammer for Yabby Dam Farms, and all of those can be seen at the nutrientstandardbred.com.au. Very easy to follow. It's very easy to keep up to date with, and go from there. It is simple. What we also had Atworthy. You've got 2 horses. I did a chat with those. Hello, Mel. Melinda Thackeray is on there. It's Thackeray, not Thackeray as well. So I have learnt that one out as well. So make sure you get there and see the draft from Aldebaran Park going forward. So we want to people to go there for that. I get sidetracked easy when I start seeing comments, but that's the idea of this show. I enjoy just having a bit of fun. So please just get involved if you want to watch it, and get involved in it, and can steer me anyway. Max Delight, son of Better's Delight, another one, ticked over the $1 million the other day, which was awesome. That was on Clubman Angle. Give me a sec, we'll get that one up, because there were some pictures circulating with that. So we'll make sure that, I think it was great to see Aki, and he was very, very happy man. We'll just they spoke to Aki as well. He's got plenty of love, but I think there's some great photos. Just trying to see where they are. There it is there. We will go to this one, go there. And of course you can see Will Rickson. I think he's going to Perth this week, which is pretty good for Will. But there's David Aiken, and a lot of people very happy with Aki. He looks very, very happy as well. So, and he's a beautiful horse, Max Delight. And hopefully he continues to race for a long time to come. So, congratulations, and a great result, ticking over the $1 million. So, I think that's awesome to see him do that. Brandon Howlett, hello to you, Brandon. Saw Brandon in New Zealand. He wasn't expecting to see me. I wasn't expecting to see him, I can tell you that much. Someone's found all my photos. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that, because I realised you guys were looking at it, so I'll go back this way. So this is what I do. Ever wonder why I get sidetracked? That's why. I can tell you it's not quite beanie weather either, Marie. You're a little bit wrong on that one. But we might put the Barrostock one on for a second as I just go through my notes. Make sure you're aware with the Yabby Dam Farms horses as well. They are all YDT eligible, HDT, sorry, which is the Harasta Trotters series that'll be run next year. Heats of $10,000 and a finals of $75,000, $300 pay up. So all of the draft of the Yabby Dam Farms horses are eligible for that. Plus, plenty of others. I know Aldebaran Park have got an On a Street there, 326. That horse is eligible for it, and a couple of the others. And then the other horses that I do promote. Shane Sanderson, hello to you, Shano. Second in the Mildura Cup, we'll get to that. Yorkshire Park. Dennis Bice is selling a few. Tassie Weather, Cambridge Weather, Paulie. Yeah, that's about right, Brandon. He was the only one that was comfortable in the weather. I wonder why that hasn't come up. Brandon's put a comment on and it hasn't come up. A bit worried. Yeah, no, she's working now, so we're good to go. There's something just not quite right with that little unit over there. Anyway, as I said, we have gremlins in the system from time to time. What was I talking about? Queen Elida was the other horse. I think she's now the richest mare ever as well. So hats off to her, and congratulations. I think also there was a few tributes being paid to Tailor Made Lombo today as well. So I think unfortunately she's passed. I must say I should have read a bit more about that. I'm putting 2 and 2 together, and maybe not quite right with it. We will get to I will get to Ashley Haines in a second. Just going to quickly go on here and just have a little look. RC Phoenix, Aldebaran Park. Okay, so there's a thing up for them. Yeah, it doesn't actually say, so I'm presuming the way things have been written, yeah, her passing at 30 years of age. What a great mare she was. She was a super mare. Back in the old Regal carts, she was that long. She was magic to watch, and yep, she used to flow. Presented beautifully by Nolan Jane, as they always are. So yeah, champion mare. Sad to see, but probably, you know, she's had a very, very good innings, and it's great to see those champion mares go for as long as what they have as well. So yeah, plenty of content. Good to see, HRV. Plenty of content about the Nutrien Race Series, even including the New South Wales heats. So thank you very much for that. Well done. I think it's great. So Mildura Cup, Young Bluey. Well done to Matty Craven. Awesome effort. I think he ran first and third, so great effort for him. Marvels around those little tight tracks. And this one, actually, this is one that I did stumble across by mistake. I don't know what's going on with that thing over there. It's annoying me. It just flicks in and out when it wants to. But a huge opportunity. Bendigo Harness Racing, of course, they race every Wednesday, but this one's for a great cause, and I will flick over to it now. So it's for the Good Friday appeal. So at Bendigo Harness Racing Club, they believe in racing for a cause is better than a cause. So supporting sick kids. Get in touch with them. There's days where you can have your race meet, your name. All money will go to the Good Friday appeal and go from there. There is a link there that you can get there. They've actually tagged me in it. That might have been why I saw it, but I think it's a great cause. So make sure you become a part of that, the Good Friday appeal. If you want to have your name in the race book and on the race there as well, Sky Racing, Trots Vision, Facebook posts from the businesses, reserve seatings, and free entry and race book. Free entry should be for everyone, but it's not, so that's okay, Bendigo. I won't let you off, but yeah, going from there. Yes, Brandon, it was very, very chilly over there in downtown Cambridge. Now, we will try and get Ashley Haines on. Just got to get the phone up and working. And we'll get him on because he was extremely happy. I suppose the best way to put it would be wee man, because he was very happy indeed. Hopefully, hang on, we've got to plug that in. All this should work going forward. Hello, Ashley.
How are you?
Very well, mate. I'm sorry I was a little bit late to the party, but you are there now.
Yes.
I was just saying there before about what a... wonder why they... Just give me 1 sec, Ash. It's only working through one side. Should just be a technical thing. Geez, I'm having some gremlins tonight. Can you hear me, Ash? Just hang on. Just try and get a bit better listening for the viewers out there. Try that now, Ash. Can you hear me, Ash?
I can hear you, Paul, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I apologise to the viewers, but it should be 2 lines, but for some reason it's only coming through 1, and I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, that's okay. People will still be able to hear you. Firstly, mate, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Paul.
You settled down at all since the other night?
Now, I must say we're still buzzing. It was very special and something that we'll, I think, savour for some time.
Yeah, it was just an amazing night, full stop. The build up to it was outstanding. I think you'd have to agree with that. The way the club and everyone did the night was brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. I think you could even take it back a step. The night before the what was sold to us or told we were going out for a cocktail party out at Brecken Farms with Ken Brecken and his lovely wife, the hospitality they showed and the support that the Cambridge Club got around, the Trotting Club, to make that event happen, and just the unbelievable setting was only upstaged by their hospitality. It was just an amazing night, very informal, but everybody got to talk and mingle, and I think it just built from there for those that are participating on the track. And then the vibe in the Cambridge township, everybody that we encountered just filling in a bit of time going out for lunch or just going for walking around having a look at the shops, they were all talking about getting out to the trots, whether it be to look at the horses or for the Kaylee Bell concert that was on afterwards. So the vibe was just amazing, and their hospitality, you know, they did it very, very well.
Yeah, they did indeed, and it was it was wet, Ash. That was the one thing, and it was a big worry. The crowd turnout before we get onto your race was phenomenal, and it really, they knew when the good horses were coming out. You were still nearly 2 hours before the concert was going to start. They were there for the trot. They knew the good horses were coming, and they were just coming in their droves, weren't they?
The majority, I think, were just saw it as a bonus. You know, we get to go to the trots, and the add-on is Kaylee Bell plays afterwards, and the track became a stage, and they could have a dance.
Yep.
But all the, as my understanding was, the club weren't all that concerned about the weather because all the tickets were pre-sold.
Yep.
And that they knew they had a crowd coming. They could forge ahead and make whatever plans around. I mean, there are people there walking around giving out ponchos, so people wouldn't get too wet, but they didn't care.
No.
They're just there for a good time and all well dressed. Looking to, as I say, enjoy themselves, and they certainly did.
Yeah, and participants did a great job as well. It is trying back in the horse stall area. They are trying to get new stalls. I think it's probably a priority that Harness Racing New Zealand need to do, because it's a great facility. When you have a club that's got to go get what they've got, they need to be looked after, and they need to get that facility so that participants rocking up feel comfortable and feel welcome.
Yes, you'd be right about that. Everything else is very well done, but they need to address that stalling area for sure.
Yeah, it's dark too. That's the worst part. When it's a night like that, it is dark. We've got Cambridge Raceway watching. We've got a few. Gayleen McKinnon is watching as well, and I think well done to you guys, and thank you very much for the hospitality they showed me. They didn't just show it to the people with horses in, mate. They showed it to everyone, didn't they?
Oh, for sure. Just as I said, their hospitality needs to be. Unless you're there and experience it, it's very hard to put into words. But it was just outstanding.
Yeah, there was a great little story. I don't know if you were quite aware of it. The race before yours with I forgot the name of the horse, Romeo someone, for David Branch, actually won the race before the main trot. He's the CEO. It was just it was just great scenes. It was just terrific to see. So yeah, just a really good night of racing. Full stop.
Yes, I was talking to him just before, and he was showing particular interest in it. He said, "Yeah, we've just got the winner." So I was very pleased for him and the work that he put into it, and his committee and the board over there. As I say, you just can't speak in more glowing terms. They did it very well.
No, I've got the race on, Ash. I'm technically not allowed to show all of it, so I won't show too much. What were you thinking at the start of the race when Oscar Bonavina? You would have been happy that Oscar was galloping, but you wouldn't have been as happy where he was for a while.
No, that was concerning. We stood down right at the front of the winning post there, and with Elizabeth McLean, and we were all concerned about how we were going to sort of get back inside Oscar. And I think Snooze said afterwards his main concern was just keeping the locomotive out on his outside and cutting back to the inside. We wanted to lead, and that just certainly threw up a bit of something we weren't expecting. Even though he has galloped a couple of times when he's been on the front row there, I think he galloped in the Hammerhead, but we weren't expecting it. You can't plan for it, Paul, I guess. So
no, and we've also got to say condolences in a way, like in the best term. I mean, condolences is probably a little bit of a hard word, but a little bit of bad luck is also for Graham Dwyer, and then with Not As Promised as well galloping out. You don't want to see anyone not partake in a race. I mean, you want to beat everyone, but you don't want to see anyone not have the opportunity of partaking in there. And probably the other one too, Ash, is I'm Ready Jet. She definitely wasn't herself. I'm just watching her. They're coming up the straight with a lap to go, and she was not herself. I don't think she handled the conditions at all. So that's the only thing. But whether it's a wet track or there were some other issues, you don't know. So, but you don't care about that because, as I said, going past the winner post, what point of the time did you get comfortable, Ash?
When we got to the front, and I think down the back where Snooze, I think it was 28-3, that third quarter, I was comfortable there, but I was also very aware that Queen Elida was on our back and she'd had a lovely run. And we know what she can do when those circumstances present. I was comfortable that the locomotive looked like we had his measure.
Yep.
But then, of course, you've got Muscle Mountain pulling out, coming down the outside. So I don't think you ever really get comfortable in a race like that. If I can just take you back to the trotting with Oscar Bonavita and Pat's horse galloping, we've all had enough horses and we all realise that what a bitter taste that leaves in your mouth when your horse does gallop, because you just don't get to know how it would have gone. So, yeah, I certainly have thoughts with it on that one.
No, definitely. On the video, just now, Chris, we're just starting straight in frame. You won't be able to see that. and you were confident. And then Queen Alida, the champion mare that she is, the angle that we were on, I was just behind you. It looked like she was coming hard, didn't it? She was coming hard, actually, but it looked like she was coming a lot harder than what she did.
Yeah, well, when you're looking front on, it's hard to gauge just the meterage of how far you're in front, I guess, as they're coming towards you. But, yeah, well, we do know our horse likes to lead, and when he does, he's very hard to run down. So I was confident in that part, and I thought Chris had rated him very well. So, yeah, I certainly wasn't overconfident, but I didn't want to be anywhere else in the race, if that makes sense.
No, and it was awesome, and it was great scenes afterwards, and fair to say one Duncan McPherson was a wee bit happy, mate.
Oh, and fantastic to see. He does put his heart and soul in it, and he's taken so many of us participants along with him with his, he's just so passionate. You hear about him tripping up to Sweden, going to America and all this, and he doesn't bring back the information for himself. He's quite open, will tell you what he's learnt and what's going on up there and how we can improve, and just really is passionate about making our trotting ranks stronger, and just fantastic. And to join with him on this stage and in this race and partner Aldebaran Park with their slot was just a privilege, and B, to be in that space with him afterwards and share that emotion, and yeah, it's very infectious what he does, and we've the beneficiaries, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got the after race celebrations that were on Facebook thanks to Harness Racing New Zealand. There was some discussions, mate, whether he may have nearly gave you a tongue kiss. It was very close to it. I'm happy.
My wife may or may not have said, "Get a room, you two." I don't know.
I'll actually put it back up. I just missed it. I can actually we'll scroll back. Well, it only goes for 12 seconds. You're better off just letting it go. But I'm not sure. I think it was pretty close. It was. Don't worry about that. He did have a tie on. You wouldn't even think he's got a tie on. So yeah, there's been talk that he was going to do a nude run in America at one stage. He wasn't far off. I reckon if the weather was a bit better, he may have nearly run the straight the other night. We could have dared him to do it anyway.
Yes. Oh, no. Yeah.
It was
just unbelievable scenes and just such a great feeling. And as I said, we're still buzzing and hasn't left us yet. We spoke again this morning, and he said we'll be talking about this in 30 years. And I said, well, the generational, my kids will be talking about it in generations to come. It's just such a thrill and something we certainly won't forget.
Does it whet the appetite, mate? Does it make you hungry to potentially do some more travelling? I know snooze is. Everyone thinks elite lops and that, and look, maybe that is on the radar. I don't know, but I know America's very keen on Chris's radar. Is something like that on your radar?
Oh, absolutely. But I think if we can just take as an owner, I'd love to, and yeah, that's what we do it for. There's no doubt about that. But Snooze has a stable, full of horses. He's got a family around him, and a young family now with his lovely daughter Estella. So there's a lot goes into these sorts of things, and that's why I guess when it does come together on a night like at Cambridge in the flight race, you just celebrate it because there's so much work goes into it. And Chris's horse is back at home. He's got Roscoe and the team back there, Taylor. Pete didn't come. He stayed behind and just wanted to make sure everything was right there. And he's got things going on in his life too where he unfortunately couldn't be there. And Claire Payne helps out. So you need everything to come together to enable us to travel the horse across. So I never take those sort of things for granted. I'm in business as well, so
no, you can't.
If the opportunity was to present and it worked for Chris, who was in the space that he could do it, sure, we'd entertain it in a heartbeat.
Very good. Dylan Ferguson wants to know when the RC Phoenix hats are coming out. If they come out, I would like one. And Gayleen McKinnon actually told me that it's Romeo Foxtrot. I thought it was Romeo, but I had to be a bit careful there. But yeah, Romeo Foxtrot was that horse that was owned by David Branch. So well done to him. But yeah, when those hats come out, don't you miss me. They'll have to be red. That's one thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. They'll be red. They'll be Aldebaran Park red.
Yeah. They stands out. I've got one on at the minute. You can't see that either.
I walked into a restaurant in Cambridge, I must say, and the guy behind the counter said, "Is that Donald Trump hat?" And I said, "Oh, no. This is Aldebaran Park hat. It's much bigger."
Well, it will be in Cambridge now, so don't worry about that. So, yeah. What's next for him, mate?
He's come back. I haven't really talked to Chris about the immediate plans, but he'll have a week off, I'd imagine. Then we'll start getting him ready to go to the Inters in Brisbane. And I think there'll be a race or two as a lead up, and then we'll take him up there for the winter.
Yep, hopefully the weather's a bit better than Cambridge in summer. But anyway, we won't worry about that. Just before I do let you go, mate, I think well done, and thanks for, like, anytime I ask of anything, I seem to get it, so I really appreciate that part as well, because it can be a bit daunting, and especially when you've got the build-up and nerves and things along those lines. So, but also from an industry point of view, we need to sell these stories and that, and I think, albeit I might have been taking a little bit of cheek there before with Duncan, we need that sort of celebrations. We need people to get involved in this game and enjoy the dream. There's enough narcs out there that want to say how bad our game is. We need people to be out there and say how good it is and be able to get over there and enjoy it. And, dream of having a horse going through the Tab Trot. Have a horse, winning the next race at wherever it is. Bendigo tomorrow night or Wednesday night. We need the dreams are what it's about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really is. And to share it with some friends like, yes, Duncan and I, and unfortunately Darren and Jamie, and as I said, Pete couldn't be there.
Yep.
But they're all there in spirit anyway, and everyone's texting one another, and no matter where it is, the actual to win and be able to celebrate. And as you say, there's a lot goes into it. There's a lot of pressure on it. You think right from the day they're born, I breed. So from the day the foal hits the ground, or even the step before that, when you're trying to pair up and make the best possible connection with your mare to get this result, to get to this place, so much goes into it. But when you do achieve that win, regardless of where it is, it's such a celebration. We take none of the wins for granted, no matter where they are.
No, definitely not. I am going to touch base with Mark Barton. I'll leave the Elder Baron hat on for 5 minutes to keep Duncan happy. And he'll be happy with that, hot to trot and all the rest. But the nutrient sales this weekend in Melbourne, it's going to take on a whole new meaning now, because lot 235, as it starts to refresh up for me, is actually a full brother to RC Phoenix, being offered up by yourself. By yourself. This one, for a start, must be a hard sell. Hard horse to put on the market. That's one thing I will say. But he is a lovely horse, and he's going to get a fair bit of attention, Ash.
He's a lovely horse, yes. We breed them to sell them, and I guess, and race some that don't sell. So, yeah, he's there. I've got 3 in the sale. When the sale came out, I didn't know we'd be in this position where we'd just be on our way back from New Zealand after winning the Tab slot race.
Yep.
Ben's done a lovely job preparing him, and he's there for sale.
He is. You've got 2 others. Just bear with me as this goes through the Dancing in the Dark ODM Phoenix. Now, I've seen this horse. This is part of the Aldebaran Park draft, so you've got him with a couple of people, but that's sort of the way you actually do this. And this horse, a beautifully bred horse as well, beautifully related to LJK Phoenix and a few of those other horses.
That's right. ODM Phoenix is a half sister to LJK's mother. So all the horses stem back to Jollibird, who's the granddam on one and a great granddam on the other. On those 2 that you've mentioned. Yep. Lovely type, yes. Dancing in the Dark, I think he's really going to make an impression as a stallion. I really like the way his stamp that he's put on those horses. So it'll be interesting how he goes.
Yep, and of course, you had RC on the last line. Now, and Yankee Hall by Six Pack. There was a
one Yankee Hall 6-pack, yes.
One Yankee Hall, sorry. I saw a 6-pack debuted in New Zealand, and I think there's one other one's trialled. So they're obviously not far off getting up and going. Hasn't hit the ground yet, but this is his first season. They're only 2-year-olds this season in Australia. And out of the Angus Hall mare, one Yankee Hall, who was a nice enough horse, 7 wins, just shy of $50,000 in stakes.
Yeah, she was a lovely mare we brought out from New Zealand, and Remus Phoenix is a half to her, and so is the Feastus Phoenix, that one that you have trouble rolling your tongue around.
I don't have trouble. I don't even try. His name's Malcolm. It's much easier. Much easier.
Daniel Hibbert's lent you a line there.
It's one of the worst names ever. It doesn't matter how you tell me to say it. Like you've just told me, and I will butcher it when I try to get it out of my mouth. So I'm not even going to try, mate. I know what'll happen. So
there's not too many six-packs about, I don't believe. So, yeah, and he's a lovely colt as well. I know that they really like him at Benstead. So.
Yep. Yeah, I did see, it was at New Zealand, it was at Addington, it was the first 2-year-old of the year. I think he, from memory, ran second. There ended up only being 3 left in the race. It was a 6-horse field, but a couple of scratchings. So he did run second, but he wasn't beaten far. None of them were beaten far, actually. They were all pretty close. So that's encouraging for connections, that's for sure. And, and anyone wanting to breed a horse, to 6-pack, he's a beautifully bred by Muscle Mass. So he's got the right breeding there. So, and goes from there. Just notice, actually, there's no photos or videos. I gather they'll come up with that, Blake?
With the One Yankee Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're on their way, yes.
Yep.
They're coming.
Yep. No, that's okay. I just saw they weren't up there, so I was making sure that there was nothing wrong. That was all.
All good there.
Ash, thanks for joining me. We've got to sell these dreams, mate. We've got to showcase how good it is. Did you realise how wet it was when I was interviewing you?
No. It wasn't raining, was it? It was pouring.
It was bucketing. It was actually bucketing down. I'm going to get it up. I'm going to do a bit of self-indulgence or self-entitlement here in a minute because I thought it was actually a pretty cool interview, to be honest. But when you stop and look at it, oh geez, I put some stuff up, Ashley. Put too much stuff up, but yeah, there it is. There, it is fairly hammering down after the race. But you didn't notice it. Duncan didn't notice it, but I can tell you, I bloody noticed it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I do recall you saying something about it. You realise it's raining and you're keeping me out here, but we just kept on rolling because none of us really cared.
No, I noticed that. I definitely noticed that, but it was a lot of fun. And look, Dylan Ferguson, and I think that's a part, like there's so many people you forget to thank, but I know, he and Joe, they basically, or they probably wanted to own him, but they treated him as their own as well, straight after the race. Yeah.
When I touched on, the hospitality of the Kiwis, that extended to Joe, to Dylan and to the father, Peter, who, they just couldn't do enough for us. Joe gave Snooze a few tips on how for making your hair go blonder and purple shampoo and all this. Snooze learned a lot on this trip, I think.
His own hair or the horse's legs?
No, well, he's got 2 girls in his house that both will be blonde or are blonde, and he's going to need to learn. He's going to need to learn a lot more about this blonde hair and purple shampoo, but Joe gave him a good lesson anyway. It's
one of my great claims to fame. I can actually plait, and when you live in a house with 2 women, it's a fair feat. But we all learn weird and wonderful things. That is for sure. Ash, thank you, congratulations. But I reckon more well done, mate, for sharing the experience with so many people. And being so raw and open about it, and go from there. We actually had a photo bomber in our. I forgot the lady's. Who's the lady from Cambridge? I forgot her name. She just walked across in front of that video. I just noticed. Andrea just walked straight across in front of our camera. So, I'll have to give her a drive-by as well. Mate, well done. Look forward to catching you on. Sorry.
For those, if I could just say, if you're not involved or you're yet to, you're thinking about it, it starts on Sunday. Go out there and have a look for a horse. There'll be one that fits everybody's budget, and you never know which one it'll be that turns your dreams into reality. So get involved.
Yeah, I think they're very great points because I think we have to get people involved. We've got some good people, a few good Kiwis on there at the minute. Trent Mason's on there. Hello to you, Trent. A couple of people from somewhere else, I'm not sure. Marco, I don't know exactly where you're from, but hello to you. So it's all right. We might be able to sell the industry to Spain or somewhere like that. That'd be all right, wouldn't it, Ash?
That'd be good.
Right, mate. Better let you go. Barto's waiting. Big weekend for Nutrien as well. So I look forward to catching you there Saturday, Sunday, Ash. And we'll probably catch up again, mate. But thank you very much and congratulations.
Good on you. Thank you, Paul, and thanks to listeners.
We have Ashley Haines there, and I'll get Barto on the phone. Hopefully very quickly. Hopefully that audio was okay. I apologise. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. I've got one thing over there blinking. I've got another thing here. Sure what's happening. I might just give this 2 seconds to go from there. But the hospitality over there was outstanding. Nutrien Equine Standardbreds are watching, which will actually mean that I better ring the boss because he won't be far off. Wondering where I was. I did tell him 6:30. Did drop this phone the other day, and I've actually wrecked it. I think by the looks, I may have wrecked it. So we'll get onto that very shortly, hopefully, and see how that goes. Maybe. No, now we're good. So what happened there? Hopefully we got Mark Barton on the phone. He is. Did know I was going to ring him. Mark. No. Cut out, unfortunately. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully he'll come back. My internet's cut out a little bit too. There's definitely some gremlins in the system. Right, we're back up with the internet. So that might be what's going on with the other part. But yeah, I've got that video still going of that interview. There's a lot going on in that interview. They were waiting to do some promotional stuff, I think, and didn't get to it. So, Mark Barton. This time we got you. We have.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
No, you're right. We're all. Don't worry. There's a lot going on here tonight, so it is all good. Firstly, thanks for joining me.
No, good on you, mate. Thanks for having me again.
We got plenty happening. I don't know why. We've got a few little gremlins in the system here at home tonight. Don't worry, it won't happen on Saturday or Sunday. Plenty happening this going up, mate. Firstly, how you feeling? It's been a long 9 weeks.
Mate, yeah, we are looking for the finish line now. It's like a marathon race, isn't it? You look for the end of it, but it's it's been good. Look, I know everyone worries about winter coats on the last sale and how things look, and I know not just us, but a lot of the breeders that if you're just in the Victorian sale, it's a long time since they start till the end, and I know the people that have done multiple sales like you and I have, Paul. It's I am looking for, what do we say? Beach and beer. We're looking for sometime in the winter, I think, so we can get a couple of days away from it. But no, you're hanging around people, like-minded people with horses, and I think this weekend's exciting. There's we've got fields will be the draws and the fields will come out in the morning, and we've got some exciting racing Friday and some terrific horses over the weekend to sell.
Yeah, we definitely. We've definitely got some very exciting horses. I was just talking to Ashley Haines just then, and because we've got a full brother to.
Yep.
But I've got everything going on here. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't get rid of something there. Right, now I've got rid of it. Now I've got that one up. Right, got everything sorted. Full brother to RC Phoenix in the sale, plus a few others. But very, very exciting to have horses like that calibre, in the sale.
And if you look through our catalogue, across the board, there's been some standout horses in all of these sale catalogues, but don't underestimate what's in the Melbourne catalogue. I was talking to someone earlier about it. The Victorian breeding base or the broodmare base still represents just shy of 50% of the Australian broodmares. So if you're looking for a healthy industry, you want to have a healthy breeding industry in Victoria, and I think our catalogue displays some outstanding horses there.
Yeah, and there's plenty of achievements going on by quite a few horses. While I was talking about RC Phoenix, I just want to make sure that people are aware, because Ben Stud have offered up a Huntsville out of Alava test. And you can see the Mark Purdon colours just getting to the outside, but I can't see that here at the minute. This is a horse called Andretti by Bettor's Delight, sold last year to Gene Feast, getting the job done. So this was on Friday night, just gone. Keep saying about selling the dream, Bardo, and a lot of people turn around and say, oh, there's no prize money in Victoria, why would you want to buy in Victoria and all the rest? You buy in Victoria because they're the best raised and bred horses. Consistently, you get your best horses here. You can race them wherever you like. You're not defined to race them here. I want them to. I don't want Victoria to get any smaller, but it shouldn't be a deterrent for people not to get involved in the industry.
Look, I think if you again, we talked about, some of the breeders talked about their strike rate, and if you look at the strike rate, which I think after probably 5 years, it's on our radar. This is our fourth year now, or our fourth race series. To look at the strike rate of the success rate of those horses after five crops of yearlings get to the races, what percentage have run and what percentage have won? I know they did it at Brisbane there. On last year's, like what the crop that just went around as 2-year-olds, and it was over 74 or 5% that actually won a race.
Yep. Yeah.
It was seriously good numbers. And if you look at what people do with these the prep that goes into them, that's half the work that the trainers have got. It's not you're not trying to force feed a horse to get it to the track next season. Like there's, they can take them along steady. I spoke to a number of people that have already started some of the previous sales, and that's what they said. Look, they're just a pleasure to work with. Well-handled yearlings that have got a good program. Their health's right. Their attitudes are good because they've had the right foundation on them. And I think then you add genetics into that. I think you've got a good chance of success.
Yep, no, absolutely. Jeff Dixon tunes in, and I'll be meeting Jeff on the snowfields through winter. Don't you worry about that, Jeff. We'll do a show live from the snow, mate. We'll be fine. So just talking a bit of football, Bardo. Don't worry about that at all. You said there before about Queensland. Don't go too far. You leave the football alone because you're going better than us all of a sudden. So
I'm going to say I don't want to talk about football, mate. The good old Roosters in the rugby league world are terrible, so we don't talk footy.
But you have actually won a game. We haven't, so neither of us have. That's why he's not giving me a hard time. There'll be others lining up, but we are going very ordinary. We'll start with Queensland, Bardo. Just the other day, Fader Waits was terrific. Grant Dixon, they're great supporters of Nutrien. They have been for a long time. He had the full field of horses, but great to see the race get up and be there for participants if they want to come down and race in the Nutrien Equine Classic.
Mate, and look, can I say these aren't final fields yet, but 3-year-old colts and geldings, the final noms, I know Fader Waits sits in that group.
Good.
So that to me is that's a really positive one. In the 3-year-old fillies, Ruby Rules that Grant Dixon's got. Again, she was a filly that's got she got 23, nearly 24. I can't think. I think it's about $24,000 in earnings.
Tell you right now, she's by Oaka Punter.
No, I think she might have done better than that.
6 starts, two wins, 23,000, but there'll be bonuses on top of that as well. She ran third. So she's a little one of those curly ones that people will be going, oh, how does she come? But because she ran third, she was the first filly over the line because it was combined sex.
Yeah, correct. Then you go to the 2-year-old colts and geldings. Nothing there, but the 2-year-old fillies, Lucky Luda. Is also one owned by GSM Racing, a Grant Dixon horse. Now, I can tell you that they've talked if they can get a plane to get the horses down, which they're in the throes of, we could see 3 out of the 4 races represented by a Queensland horse, which I think that's what we really want to see. It's great to see.
Yeah, no, it is indeed. Sitting on 8 was a good win down the outside. Very wet conditions there as well. Very unpleasant.
And sitting on 8, I'm going to say sitting on 8 was one that I reckon our mate Brett Welsh claims a fair bit of. He reckons that he might take some of the credit for the pre-training that went into that horse.
I'm leaving it alone. You know that, don't you? I'm not even going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. There's a lot of things Welsh he can do, so he can lay claim to that as well, I think. So.
Well, like I say, he's a bloke who did pre-train 8 out of 12 starters in the Magic Millions 2-year-old gallop. So I reckon he's probably got some ideas, and he did put that horse through the ring, so he's claiming victory on that first win too.
Yep, yeah, he is indeed. He did have a little bit of help from a few people, but that's okay. We won't worry about that. We went to Melbourne. A little bit gets said about Emma and Clayton winning all the heats, Bardo, but they are only heats, and I say that I went through and watched them. They won, were a little bit pedestrian, and the other kicker is too, they're not racing over 1,700 this Friday night at Melton. That's going to be another curveball for a few of these horses.
And the reason we've gone to distance over the longer trip, which we can do in Vic, we can't this time of year in New South Wales, but it allows us, number one, to get 12 runners in the final.
Yep.
And that's important for me. When we first looked at this crop of 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, we talked about putting up prize money of $175 for the 2s and $100 for the 3-year-olds. And with the support we've had, we've ended up getting up to $200,000 again for the 2s and $125 for the 3-year-olds. So there's a little bit more on offer. And if you run 6 to 12, there's 2% of the pool. So you're getting $4,000 a run. Last 6.
Yep.
So for those ones travelling, or even if you are a Victorian horse, it more than covers your cost of your sustaining payment, which I think that's obviously part of it. If we're lucky enough, we've got one that's made it into the final of the 3-year-olds. We had a horse treading our tyre going down the home straight last year, so we're looking for a bit more luck this time.
And I think even that filly of yours wasn't an expensive buy, but I think it's one of the great things about this series that the sale toppers are going okay as well. Don't get me wrong, but a couple of poster boys, a Fear the Dragon. They weren't big money horses. These horses, they were they were bought on type, and that there's a couple of really nicely well bred horses, but not from fashionable stallions, and it's great to see.
Mate, I think if you look at the, it was interesting. We did some stats, or looked at some stats. You and I did the other day, and you look at the amount of horses that sell between 20 and 50 that go on to win a race. I think that's actually an interesting stat to see what the percentage of winners are at that level. I think that's an interesting one for us. It's interesting. We talk about horses. I know again, the best part I guess of owning a horse ourselves, we've seen what it costs to get a horse to the track, the time that goes into getting them there. And being with a camp drafting background, we don't start a horse in competition till they're 4 generally in our sport, and generally and often they're 5. But we look at our little filly, and she's okay. She goes okay, but she's had 11 starts, only won 1, but with bonuses, she's over 56,000 in 11 starts, and that's where these sale races and these incentive races have really helped justify an investment. We spent 25, we sustained it for 3, so 28, and you do the math then to put the horse on the track with the training fees.
Yep.
We're having a lot of fun and looking forward to this weekend, but it's an affordable investment, I believe, and it's like I say, it's not just that, it's the fun of it. We paid $100 on the weekend to go into a camp draft, and if you win, you might get 25% of the pool.
But other drafts are pretty good as well. So, Jeff Dixon, is it a worry that small fields in the heats and all the winners were odds-on favourites? Does that not concern? Well, the odds-on favourite part doesn't affect you, Bardo. I'm just going to question the odds-on favourites too, Jeff, because I don't think there wasn't too many that were there. The small fields is so as everyone gets a run. The first horse was $1.95, $1.49. I'm in trouble. The first 3 were very short. First 4, okay. There was only one that didn't win. That was odds on. I know that, which was Frolic
Frankincense.
No, Frolic and Earth Sea. It's out of the Romancing the Stone. So
Yep. Look, the one thing I know, and I've spoken to the guys, obviously behind the scenes, trying to make the numbers add up at HRV. There is no doubt, and I pushed to have a Friday night race for that reason. One, because I didn't want people worn out trying to get to our sale parade on Saturday, and also gave us a 24-hour layoff before our sale, because ultimately, for me, I'll be judged on the outcome of the sale on Sunday afternoon.
Not the races.
Not the race result, but we went to Friday, and then when we talked about it before we set the program, there is no doubt that you look at full fields and free-for-all racing, and the mature going horses. That's better for betting turnover, which I guess we talk about the breeding in this business, but I understand what helps fund these races and what helps fund the industry does have the punter has an input, and I know juvenile sale races don't generate the turnover that some of a normal Saturday night program would, and I said, look, it actually suits me to be Friday, because it gives me that time lag, so we might actually get more of the owners and more of the preparers and people that had an interest in these horses, because it's not just the breeders. It's a lot of these horses. I know you went to Monty Burnett's the other day, and I know, look, she wears a heart and a sleeve with any of the horses that she's put through those yearling sales, while she might not have owned them. I think there's a lot of those people out there, and I spoke to a trainer this morning, and he made the comment. He said, I find this time of year, he said, I looked at those yearlings and thought, geez, I didn't mind him. And then you see the horse make a final.
Yep.
And he said, I've got to go and have a look. What's out of that mare that might be in this year's sale? And he said, I think that's interesting.
And there's heaps of them, like I just said. I said about RC Phoenix and Andretti. Andretti, I think that's his name. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But there's quite a few of those sorts of horses. But there's quite a few of these horses that have got siblings and relations, but also the breeders that have won those races as well. Just so Jeff is aware, because the heats were run over the short, Jeff, they can't run 12 horse races at Melton. Over the short, we only race 11, a fields of 11, seven off the front and 3 off the second line. That's one of those things that they've done, especially with babies. So if they had 12 horses, they had to run 2 6-horse fields. So that might explain a little bit when you go and look at potentially, and I don't know whether they did. I think no, they didn't have, but they didn't have more. Yeah, so they only had 10, 10, and 9 at New South Wales. But that might explain to you. So everyone's entitled to a run. If you pay up for the Nutrien races, you are entitled to run. It doesn't matter if you've got no form. You're still entitled to run if your form's 0, 0, 0.
Long as you're qualified. Yep.
You're sustained and ready to go. You're
and,
welcome to race, and you cannot be blocked for any way. So unfortunately, there is no first emergency. So when it comes out at 12, and I think 2 of the heats were 12, and I think one was a 13, that makes it 2 of the final noms. That's where you get your small fields. Ideally, I reckon if you spoke to the handicappers, spoke to Barto, they'd be more than happy with full fields. But we don't want anyone to miss out. That's the idea of coming to Nutrien. Buying and being a part of the experience and enjoying the ride.
And look, what we do, so there's no secrets. It's 50% of the final pool goes to the winner. Where there's a full field of 12, it is 16% of the prize pool goes to second. If there's 11 horses, they go to 18% for second, and if there's a 10-horse field, which some years that's been the case, they add that back, so it goes to 20% for second. So we don't have a full field of 12 in a final. That extra money goes back to second place. That's the way our terms and conditions have been modelled, so that we can accommodate those 11 and 12 horses, and they do get 2% of the prize pool to run 11th and 12th. But in the event that we don't have that field, we add it back. We don't keep it. We add it back to the second prize pool.
Yep, and Jeff understands that. But it is a worry. But I mean, it happens in thoroughbred racing. Unfortunately, it's probably a sign of the times a bit with the equestrian gate at the minute. There's a few of those issues too. So,
but probably the one thing I reckon, if we get back to what's available to us, this year, as you and I have spoken about, there haven't been a heap of treacherous yearlings for sale. There's been sprinkling across the sales so far, and we get to Melbourne. There's 7. Yep. There's 5 colts and 2 fillies, and I think you say what's in next year's catalogue. I think if you look through there, 5 Bettor's Delight, 10 Art Majors, 13 Mickeys, you have 7 treacherous.
Yep.
You've got a really quality, and down by the seaside is very current at the moment. There's 7. I just think if we actually look at the stallions that have been represented here in this catalogue, we've got roughly 100 or just shy of 100 paces and around 60 trotters. So you've got a nice sprinkling of both. So if you said to what does the Victorian market want to consume this year, Poster Boy's going great, but there's only 5 chances to get on a Poster Boy out of Melbourne this year.
Yep, and he won 2 heats in Melbourne. So he's doing an awesome job.
He's doing a fantastic job, and of those again, only 3 colts, 2 fillies.
I'll wear my hat. I'll wear my hat with just back on to Jeff and people like, and not Jeff so much, but there was a few people on social media having a crack about the size of the fields, Barto, and that. It's a huge opportunity. Come to the sales and buy a horse and be a part of it. If you're worried about small fields racing for good money, just get a part of it. Like, that's the best part to do. You can do that on the weekend.
Like I said, mate, I've got a filly who goes okay, and she's got, with bonuses, 57,011 starts.
Yep.
And she's won 1 race.
Yep. So
I paid 25 grand for it. So I look at that and think, what's my? I reckon this star's going to fall, mate. If you want a few tips, because I've had 3. We've bought 3 so far to the races and 3 that are won. So I don't know what we're going to get something wrong. But again, if you look at what do you do, we're shopping for a little bit of value, but also I love the fillies, mate. I reckon the fillies, because the big end of town money buys the top colts, and I just reckon we're running for the same money as 2 and 3-year-olds. And our stats show that we've probably got a 30% discount on a filly. So I can chase the same prize pool for 30% less investment. So it makes sense. And if they don't go too good, I can put a stock horse embryo in one too, mate. So I've always got a plan B.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Sorry, just to New South Wales, Barto, because there was some good results. Peter Gianni, he purchased up this year already in Sydney, and spent some substantial money, 100,000 on one, and I think 60 on another. Great to see him. He got 2 winners, so he's living the dream with Sinaloa and also Nocturnal. I shouldn't forget that horse's name, but because and that was a horse prepared by Lower Long Farms, actually bred by Arden Lodge, John Stuyven, but I think it was purchased. The mare was purchased through Lauriston and it was prepared by Kath McIntosh last year. So he was a good winner, but great to see Pete, who invests money, getting a good return. He had a great night Saturday night for himself and one other person there with him.
No, exactly. And look, I think you look at it again. We had last year we've broken it again, but the Robertsons, Scott and Kath Robinson had the piece out. It's doing a lovely job. Winner
I had Robbo on the phone today. Actually, he said that. He said she's doing a job for me, and she is. She's going terrific. So yeah.
Oh, she's done really well. You talk about favourites. She's $1.45, but again, a better's delight out of a Mach 3 mare. So you've got the owners have got a really nice filly that's done a great job. She's won 10,000 there in the heats because they did top those heats up so we could race on Saturday night. But there again, there's a filly that's gone around 14 times and won 64,000 plus bonuses.
Yep, we've got Trent Mason on. Hopefully he's had a little bit of bad luck with that filly he purchased, but hopefully everything's now heading on the right track. I was hoping to catch up with him, but didn't get to catch up with him. Malcolm Little, you can't expect a fairy tale if you don't get involved. And of course, Malcolm's one of the owners of Just Believe, so he can talk about the fairy tales and selling the dream, and that's what we've got to do, Barto. Sell the dream. It's about having fun. It's about enjoying life.
Well, our slogan this year was opportunity awaits, and I believe that. There's an opportunity out there, and I think this Melbourne market, look, let's not hide the fact we all know that it's been a tough 12 months in Victoria. I know there's been some decisions that have had to be made, and I don't have a criticism of anyone. Yeah, people have all got to try and we all look out for what's best for us, I guess, ultimately, but you've got a strong breeding base that needs to be supported. You've got a terrific racing industry that needs to be supported. But ultimately, it's often what's the old saying: the darkest day is just before the dawn. And I think there is opportunity in this catalogue. I know there are a couple of New South Wales owners that have sold well in Sydney, and they said, look, we've had a good sale. We're going to try and reinvest. We're going to see what's down there, what families have, and we've got to what genetics are out there. And I think whether it be breeding beef cattle or sheep or camp draft horses, if you stay true to what you're about, ultimately the racing product needs great genetics to be sound, strong, well-bred racehorses. And I think the Australian product is great. Like I've always said since I've been part of it, I love the diversity that we do miles, we do distance. I think we've got a lot of resilience and versatility in the breed of horse that we've got here. And I think you look when we take these trotters overseas now, mate, go abroad. Our trotters are they're becoming world class with the infusion of some of these global genetics that are in them.
No, absolutely, and we will touch on them. Great to see Peace Out back in the winner's circle as well for McDowell's. They're having a great run with that mare, and they invest heavily in the nutrient sales. Hopefully we get to see them on Sunday. They'll be there Friday night, so hopefully we get to see them on Sunday as well. So I know you probably don't like the horse as much as what other people do, but I'm sure Robbo and myself do. Just a little footnote, Robbo's not going to be there. He's going to the footy. He's going to gather round in the Adelaide, so he won't...
He did tell me he's going to Adelaide. I spoke to him about that only in the last couple of days. We're both comparing notes about how dry it is because he's only about 10 k's from me, so we're comparing notes on how dry the paddocks are getting at the moment.
No, so he won't be there. But I'm going to throw you a curveball. There is an odd one in the sales. Now, you're going to have to help me with which one it is because I thought I'd go to the A-Lot, but there's 3 A-Lots. So there was a little bit of an issue with one of Gary Graham's horses. And so this year you actually got one horse, I know which horse it is now, 366A is the horse, but we want to make sure people are aware this horse is actually broken in. Now, just want to probably get a little bit of, I suppose, of the backstory behind what actually happened with this horse and I suppose how come you are selling a horse that is broken in?
Yeah, look, the horse went to Sydney. And it turned out there were 2 yearlings at the time, or 2 weanlings at the time, and the 2 microchips didn't match up. It actually, the microchip that we scanned at the sale actually matched the other horse, and I think they must have been, both, bay geldings or bay colts they would have been at the time. But as it turned out, the since they came back, there's been a mix-up and they've actually prepped the wrong horse. So that horse has had the hobbles on.
No,
it's the first time I've had.
Hasn't had the hobbles
sorry,
on.
not out of
No.
it's had the cart, but not the hobbles.
Yeah, it's a trotter, so it doesn't get hobbles on.
No, you're quite right. No, it's had the cart behind it, but it because they realised that they had the wrong horse, so they've now actually bought it there, and it is a What the Hill, and it's out of a Sunderland mare, so it's it's out of a mare that's won 6 races, and is also a good family that goes back to Skyrocket. Second Dam was a 13-time winner for 118,000. So she's had 6 winners in the Second Dam. So it goes back to that Maori family too as you go back through the family.
So it's not something you're going to do commonly. It's just because there was an honest mistake.
No, absolutely. There was just a mix-up in the and that's something I'm pleased we do it. But we actually we go through and we actually do check all of the we scan all the horses to make sure we do have the right horse that matches its numbers. And it turned out that we had an incorrect number, and when we actually checked it out, it matched up to the other yearling that he bred that year.
Yep, there is no videos on the page here at Melbourne, but I do know that if you go to Facebook, I'll probably have to share it. What I might do is I'll share it to my Facebook page a bit later on. There is video footage of the horse trotting in the cart, so you do get to be able to see it. So it is something a bit unique. I'm not sure why they're not on the website, but there is definitely video footage. I've seen it today. So yeah.
And our attitude was, look, it was certainly an honest mix-up. Our aim was to try and make sure that we gave them a chance, but obviously fully disclosed that horse. That's the reason it has had an education, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
I'm just trying to see while you're going. I'm just trying to see if I can actually find where I was tagged, which I can't. It's not jumping out at me. I'm skimming across these pretty quickly, but it's not just jumping out. But yeah, so it is there. And please just get to. I'll make sure I share that. Hang on. Here we go. I think it's this one. I'll just see how I go, Barto. No, that's not it. That'd be right, wouldn't it? It's always what you do. It's the wrong one. But anyway, yeah, there is footage there. And we'll make sure that we can get people so people can see that footage there. For the rest of the sale, Barto, great depth in the trotters. A lot of trotters out there, which is exciting, and especially when we see the footage of RC Phoenix and those sorts of horses, and Malcolm Little there commenting as well. It is a great dream. The trotters, they can travel the world pretty well.
Yeah, and that's it. It's funny when you actually look at the global reach. When we look at your feed that we get of the sales, mate, we can pull up who does come in and watch these sales at times, and whether it's performance horse or standard bred, but the amount of European and North American interest in our sales is growing, and I think a lot of that does actually attach itself to, particularly Europe does attach itself to what European genetics we've got in the trotting gate. You've got again 3 Bold Eagles, which is a French sire. You've got a lot of interest there, like Classic Connection, again another French sire. Father Patrick, a US sire. Helper's on its way.
Got the last ready cash that'll be offered in the Southern Hemisphere.
And I'm going to say, and not just the last ready cash, but actually a really nice horse too. Yes. If you go to our site and have a look at that horse, it's an outstanding type.
Yep.
And I think it goes back to the Third Dam. Rob the Nest was the New Zealand Broodmare of the Year. So you've got a terrific pedigree, and again the Volstead out of the mare is now qualified only in March 19, so only in the last couple of weeks. So it's a very current family. Wilma's Mate is the one out of 4 to the races for the Second Dam.
Yep.
My brother was a star, so Sunderland mare was the Second Dam, and again 4 winners. And again, she produced a $350,000 winner. So it's a terrific family. And the last one, and possibly one of the last ones in the world, we'll see go to auction.
Yeah, Pat did say, I'm not going to say that, but he definitely will be in the Southern Hemisphere. There is no more of them because Pat had the rights, so he knew where all those semen were there. So yeah, so that is the Immortal Frere lot 333 actually. So it won't be that hard to remember the lot number. I should have been able to know that, but both with Pat and with Duncan, of course, we expect international bloodlines, but you've got people like Neville and Louise Pangrazio. They've got a beautiful horse there. What's he by? His name's Tactical Landing. They've got a beautiful colt there. Chris Lang Jr.'s got a beautiful Bold Eagle colt. It's not just these people. Oakbank Estate have got two lovely trotters. They've got one little smoky for people. They call him Red. I'm going to get his number up there. He's 252. Mari Danu by Used to Me. Go and have a look at him. I'll tell you, he's a cracker. I've had a few people message me about best presented, and he's going to be in the running just because he's a spunk. He is. So yeah, he's a really nice horse.
No, and look, and I think that says enough about the preparers generally. I think the standards in the time we've been doing it just continue to rise, and I think you're looking not overdone, but what I did like about the horses this season, rather than show ring sort of fat, they're actually racy. People have got their feeding programs, and also the walkers and the amount of fitness that they're balancing with them to make them look like a racehorse. And I think a couple of the preparers said that their aim is the best that horse should look in its life should be on Yearling Parade Day.
Yep, there's a couple.
And I think that's a very accurate assessment. You look at some of these yearlings; they just look absolutely outstanding. So it's always a pleasure to stand over them. And like you say, there's what I think we also look for is what's that horse that really takes your eye. And I think we've seen a number of horses come through. You and I've seen a lot of these horses that you think, wow, isn't that a beautiful type? Then you go and see what it's by, and they're not always by the top 4 or 5 stallions that are being used at the time.
No, and I'll give you one that if people are looking out there to buy a trotter and get involved, Father Patrick just does a phenomenal job, and they never seem to be a sale topper, but just does an awesome job. I know Rhiannon Park have got 2 lovely ones there by him. Medowie Lodge have got 1 by him. There's quite a few. I should actually look to see how many Father Patricks there are in the sale. There's 5. I know I've just rattled off 3 that I've seen. So, but yeah, he does an awesome. Vin Rouge. I've seen the Vin Rouge as well, and I've also seen the Beautiful River. So yeah, so Harassed Trotter's got 2. Rhiannon Park. So he's a great sire. There's no worries there at all.
And mate, on type, I know again, bouncing back to the pacer. You mentioned Andretti, that's already doing a job. The Betters Delight doing a really nice job. They're out of Ala Vitesse. Yep. The Huntsville, there's only one Huntsville in the catalogue. He's a Ben Stud horse, but go and take the time to have a look at him. I think he was just a magnificent horse that, again, Huntsville's haven't been, at the top end, like at the top of the mountain on price, but out of a very good producing mare that's doing a job. And you look at those horses, and you think, wow, what's this? And you see he's a Huntsville, but he's a beautiful horse. And when you look into that pedigree of Huntsville as well, you've got Speed Family, Sunbeat Somewhere, back for a double cross of Western Hanover. So another one we've talked about too, where the well-said brood mares are actually starting to pop up more and more too. So
yep, definitely. Jeff Dixon saw a video of the Ready Cash, and it's a she, Jeff, but yeah, it looks a sale topper. It is a real classy trotter, I must say, and either that or he's complimenting my video work, Barto, one of the two, I don't know. Malcolm Little was on there before, but we've got to make sure that people are aware too. Orlando Vici is represented in this sale too, where there is one, I don't know what I hit then, but one out of Verberay. It's another of the Oakbank estate, but yeah.
I'm going to say he is a cracker too, mate. There's a photo up on our site for him as well. But all I'd say, the photo, he looks great. A beautiful bodied horse, but when you see him in the flesh, which you and I did, he's got a real wow factor to him, mate. I really, really like the horse. Actually, not trying to plug just one stable, but the Oakbank draft, you want to go and have a look at their draft. They've got a really interesting draft, but a really, really nice quality draft. And, again, a mixture of size that have been used for this year. And they've got one of the treacherous yearlings. So you want to make sure you go and have a look at the Oakbank draft this time.
Malcolm Little Parade, a good product. You'll get a great result. It's super to see preparers identifying that area, and they're breeding these horses to race. And I reckon that's pretty right. People are getting out there and making sure that the product they're putting out there is something I think they want to take home. I think that's one thing you always got to remember. Is something, would you like to take it home and race it? And I think they're definitely doing that.
Mate, again, giving a plug back to Yabby Dam, or Haraz the Trotters, the Used to Me, which again he's not been your high-priced horses, but again, doing a really nice job. If you have a look at the lot 252 at Oakbank, go and have a look at him too, because he was another horse. If you tick a box, you think, geez, I like that horse.
Elderbaron Park have got one as well. Stacey Tower. Oh, there it is. I was trying to think. I couldn't remember Stacey Tower. So she's been sitting there watching, and I'm like, I'm going to make sure she's got. I knew she'd had one trotter. She's got a Majestic Sun out of Aleppo Tiamo. I can tell you what that means, Bardo. I'm pretty sure once I see it, it means I love you. So there you are, Aleppo Tiamo. So just because it is by, you've got to love you. So you'll remember that one when we do the parade. But
I'm sure I will.
I'm full of random, you know that. So yeah, so Tiamo means love you, I think, is how it works. But but it's a beautifully bred horse. So yeah.
The other one, if you look for consistency of type, mate, again, Aldebaran have got the Dancing in the Dark. Again, they're a draft of horses where you think, geez, actually, he's putting a really nice stamp on his progeny, and they're a lovely type. They're racy type. Again, if you're looking for a trotter, we're lucky to have a number of large stables, but also some smaller stables that are producing a really, really world-class article there now, mate. So it's if you're a trotting buff, or if you haven't got one, there's an opportunity. And again, I think we're 125,000 and 75,000 the 2-year-olds. So later in the year, so if you're buying those, you look at what that value is in the trotting gate. It's the Nutrient Race Series is actually quite good value for $2,000 to sustain as a 2 and 3-year-old.
Gary and Kirsten Graham, they've got 2 Rock and Roll Heavens and an Always Be Mickey, a small stable, but they've got those Rock and Roll Heavens, 650 winners now. Awesome opportunity, like you say, smaller stables that we don't see. Huey Caffles was back with one. I haven't even saw this. It's a Miss McWicked, so it'll be well bred. So there's plenty of people. We won't go through them all. Durham Park have got a draft of 10. They've got a little bit of everything, I suppose it's fair to say, Bardo.
Yeah, and always a nice draft. And I think that the real take home is, they're sellers. They want to see. We've talked about the market. It's a tougher market, particularly in Victoria. And you've got a terrific draft. I tell you what, there's some nice horses there too, as you and I saw. But there's one for every budget there, I think was the word we talked about when we were there the other day. It's a really, really good run of horses, and probably the one that stands out that people are going to want to go and have a look at is the 260 lot, which is the 3/4 to Act Now. So he's obviously still going. He's now up to 910,000 on the track, and he's obviously a some beach somewhere. But this one is a colt out of Molly's Ideal by Down by the Seaside. So a 3/4 in blood. So one that people should take a look at. But I tell you what, again, there are a couple of really nice fillies in their draft as well. And quite a few fillies in their draft. I know people get paid, like I say, I keep pushing that you should be trying to buy a filly because there's value in them. But the Sweet Lou Tina's Delight's a lovely filly out of a Better's Delight, which is what Sweet Lou was really brought in to do that job over those mares.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, Lower Long Farms, Kath McIntosh has got a draft of 14 as well. So good, strong drafts there from those guys. Monty Burnett, we've mentioned Monty. Mel Hingston, I don't know Mel. I had a quick look at her horses, very well bred. Joe and Leone and Joe Luliani. That's going to keep us busy when we're doing the parade, Bardo, one after the other, that's for sure. You don't put me and Dane for those 2 horses, please, hopefully.
No, well, I'm going to say, if you do look there, there's one that we should particularly mention, I reckon, in that lower long draft, I reckon was a... trying to think, was the one that was an Always Be Mickey filly that was a real standout filly, I thought there too.
Dennis Bice was on there before. He's got 2 in this draft of Lower Long Farms, and that is I'll get its name up now actually while I
and look, if you go under consignments, if you're looking for they'll be under the Yorkshire.
Hang on one sec, Bardo. Peter Gianni is actually watching, so well done to you, Pete, on the weekend. I haven't seen him pop ever on my show, so congratulations, Pete, on the weekend. So sorry, Bardo, I'll let you keep going now.
No. All I was going to say, there's a Yorkshire Park, which is going to be prepared by Lower Long Farms. Yeah, it's the Always Be Mickey out of a Better's Delight mare. That again on type, you want to go and have a look. She's had 3 to the races, 2 of 1, and we talked about how to pronounce it. Birkara. Birkara.
Birikara. No, it's Birikara is actually what it is. So
Birikara, there we go. Well, it's got a Sweet Lou out of the mare's just gone 150 neat with 6 wins in 7 starts. So you've got one that's very, very current. And I said, look, that's one I think people should go and have a look at. Lovely, lovely filly. Well, you did the video, so
Yep.
you know the horse better than I do now. But it's a one that you just make sure those Yorkshire Park. There's 2 of them. A Captain Crunch Colt as well. You want to go and have a look at that draft at Lowerlong as well.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. And Birikiri, it's got 150 next to its name already. It's only had half a dozen starts. 6 wins from 7 starts. There you are.
Six from 7, mate. Yeah. So I think that's pretty good odds. I think, and again, she's current and doing a job. And the Mickeys, gee, they're starting to hit some form, aren't they? He's very consistent with his progeny on the track now.
No, definitely. The great man's ears must have been burned and he's tuned in. Watch the Dream Bardo. One thing I did point out to you, and I want to point out to a few people, she was a very fast mare. I got a great association with Dennis Bice. He doesn't pay me. There's no hats on for this one, but we're good mates. But yeah,
I was going to say we've got to be careful because Dennis lives in Kyneton where Jack lives now, mate. So we've got to make sure we look after Dennis.
I sold a house to Dennis once upon a time. I think I'm still paying for that one, but that's okay. She had 13 seconds, and in high class mares races at Watch the Dream as well. So yep, I was always try to look after Bicey. Well, she tuned in. I'll ask him about that in a minute. We'll just keep through a few more of these. I've actually changed my my.
Is Welshie online? Is he?
Yeah, because he heard us talking about how good a job he done with. I forgot the name of that horse now. He won't even know that. He won't even know that it's one.
Sitting on 8. No, he knows. I made sure he knew. What we do need to know with Brett Welsh is he's worked at Brisbane and Sydney in the back there with the horses for us. He's done the Gold Coast sale over the last couple of years, and he will represent he and his stud and his family, all-star performance horses, at the Sydney Royal Easter Show in the World Championship Camp Draft, which is an invitation only. So good luck to Welshie next weekend. Instead of coming to Melbourne and working for a few for pennies for me, he's going to represent his family at the Sydney Royal Easter Show in the World Championship, which is it's a big. I think it's only 10 riders, top 10, top 12 riders in the country get invited. So
that's huge.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck, Welshie.
And that's this weekend, unfortunately, you're saying?
That's it. That's this weekend. I reckon it's over. Brett will be able to tell us, but over 5 or 6 rounds. But he's like I say, he's a great friend, a fantastic horseman, and wish him every success this weekend. Wish he was working in the backyards with Dad.
He's a hell of a good bloke too, don't worry about that. And yeah, he is a lot of fun. So good luck, Welshie. Good luck to you in that. Wish I could get there. Might be able to. Does it go Monday, Tuesday, Pato? I might be able to pick you up.
Yeah, it does. Goes for about 5-6 days, mate.
We might be able to pick you up on the way through. We'll go up there and have a look. I'll see what happens. Stay tuned. We never know where we might end up there. But we just want to make sure that people are aware. They've got to be registered still. Most people are aware of it. We've got plenty of people watching. We've got people from New Zealand and other countries there watching. We want to make sure that you are registered to vote. I think you've got to be registered to vote by this Friday too. Hey, it might be today. Actually, I think you had to be finished by today. So, but yeah, you need to be registered and all that done. Just contact yourself and Christy at Nutrient Equine. nutrientstandardbred.com. Sorry.
Yep, the new website, mate. That's where you'll find the information. Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, just a couple of locals back here in the Riverina. Just a little sneaky one, the Atworthy Park draft, mate. There's 2 horses popping down from Wagga, and they've left those 2 fillies that they said, look, they really suit that Victorian market based on what they've done. But there's a treacherous filly and a down by the seaside, but mate, lot 309 for the Johnson boys, out of a Sweet Lou mare and Sweet Madison. She goes back through Better's Delight, the bottom side, but she was a 9-time winner herself and goes back through the family that produced American Dealer and Madison's Delight. So great New Zealand family. All you need is faith in the family. Now 44-time winner and 775,000 on the track. And an absolute standout filly. I reckon you want to make sure people go and have a look at her.
Yep.
And like I say, down by the seaside, 2 times better Herself was a Group 1 winning mare herself. So she's a 2 times better, won 15 races and 220 on the track. Goes back through the family that Twice as Hot produced Flaming Flutter that won 899,000 and went 149 and 2. So two really nice arena horses going to Victoria, mate.
And a little side note, Barto, he's leaving winners, like he's a sire. So, yeah, he's by betters and he's actually leaving winners as well. Not a lot, but he's doing a job from a very small band of mares. A little oddity, I actually was there and caught up with the boys the other day and actually took those photos, high quality photos. I'm not known as a photographer, so if anyone wants to pick on those, please go your hardest, that's fine. But a little oddity there, Barto. It will be the last Captain Treacherous filly offered for 2025, and it'll be the last Down by the Seaside filly offered at a yearling sale for 2025. There's an odd one for you. You wouldn't have thought that.
And they're out of. It's a stable in the Riverina. The boys do that. They love. I don't know. They love doing it between themselves, but they certainly like getting to the sales. But they've got terrific mares. They've actually upgraded and they've spent money on mares, and they've got horses to sell. But like I said, the Seaside. Everyone looks at the page and goes, better look at the Treacherous. Have a look at the Seaside as well. She's a lovely filly out of a group mare. So I think you'll be happy to know too, mate. Well, she just said. Not dodging you guys. I do need to get 12 thoroughbred breakers done before I go to Sydney on Thursday.
He'd be right. I got some message, I think, too, but I can't read them because I'm on the phone and it gets me. I get confused as it is. He did say there that it's 6 nights starting from Friday night, so you never know, Welshie. If you're in contention, I might end up there. Actually, I reckon I could rope the daughter in. She's always up for a junket as well. We might end up in Sydney for a couple of nights yet and tick off on that. That'll be something very different. So yeah, might do that. Thanks, Barto, for giving me some work. Now, Barto, important question from Welshie. How'd your weekend go, mate?
No, we had a weekend on the weekend. I reckon I'm like the Parramatta Eels, mate. They would have had me at 1,000,000 to 1, but I did win the feature open on the weekend. And my eldest young fellow, I got Big Jacko at Kyneton, but yeah, Coops back sitting second in junior rider. He had a win on the weekend. I had a win in the Open, and Christy had a third in the ladies on the Colt. So I think that puts her into second for lady rider in Southern Australia, and I think our Colt's leading equal leader now of all-round horse, leading novice horse, and Coops now second in junior rider. So no, we've had a good season, and it's taken 50 years to get to this, but we're enjoying it. I guess what we do on the weekends, we've had a great weekend.
You got a couple of years on 50.
Oh, don't worry, I didn't start riding until I was probably 3 or 4. So
I see what you're saying. I thought you were sort of reneging on a few years. I'm thinking
no. So it's taken 50 years of riding to get a. No, we've got what is fun, mate. Again, I appreciate what anyone in the racing game. Our 2 best horses on the truck are horses we bred out of mares that we rode and mares that we trained ourselves. And I think that's our boys are riding 2 that we bought, and we've got a great client from Charters Towers lent our 12-year-old a couple of outstanding safe horses for him to learn on the last couple of years, and he's knocking on the door of a title this year. So we're privileged to have a good draft of horses for the boys that are safe. But yeah, our stallion's going exceptionally well at the moment, so we're very lucky.
No, well done, mate. I'll let you go. We will be covering off on plenty. We've got a few more people we've got to cover off. They've got horses selling, so don't worry, we'll catch up with you guys as well. The nutrient sales, it starts. We'll go backwards. Sunday.
Mate,
sorry.
Yep. I was going to say the most important thing is some of the horses in Thursday, all of the horses are in by Friday.
Yep.
If you want to go to the races Friday night, we do have a hospitality area. Let us know if you're coming, because it is a restricted access area. It's only 60 people. We want to entertain anyone that can get to the race. We'd love to see you there. If you're interstate, let us know you're coming so we can try and look after you. Saturday lunchtime, midday, we'll have our parade. And then Sunday we start at 11 a.m. So it's 11 a.m. start, and we want people to come and enjoy the weekend. It's what a group of people wanted to see this, the races, the parade, then the sale over a weekend, and we want to get feedback on how that works.
Yep, and go from there. It is going to be pretty good weather too, so anyone that is coming from interstate or internationally, we've got a few people keen on a few trotting fillies from other countries. So if you are coming anywhere else, it is going to be pretty good weather. I see 30 degrees. So yeah, maybe dress appropriately, because it can be warm there at Oakland Junction when it's those sorts of days, but it can be uncomfortable.
I'd be happy if it does. I'd like a bit of warm weather.
Yep, you can do that. I'll be in the shorts behind the camera, so it'll be fine. Won't worry me.
No.
Mate, thank you. Good luck. But as I said, I'll be talking to you in the next few days. There'll be plenty of stuff coming out. Make sure you go to nutrientstandardbred.com.au. It's underneath there. You couldn't have missed it. And 12 o'clock for the parade, 11 o'clock for the sale, and the races on the Friday night. Those fields will be out tomorrow, and I might do something around that as well. So, but thank you very much, mate. I'll let you go, but I appreciate it. And anyone wants to get in touch with you and Christy, just go to that website and be able to find your links and give us a call.
Sounds great, mate. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, mate.
See you, mate.
Hopefully it might go that way, because I don't know if Barton can hear me, but if he can, it'd be great if he hangs up, because my phone is playing up. And go from there. Rightio. So that is a wrap. Don't forget that the sales are on. Welshie, I could end up at that the Sydney show. You never know. I've done dumber things than that before, so we'll see how we go there. But yeah, want to make sure people get involved. I found that video. Anyone wants to see the video of this horse? Well, it's on Claire Payne's Facebook, but this is that horse. They are definitely not hiding the fact that it's been broken in, yeah, it's you can see its action. I think the tail's tied across on that angle for a reason, so that people can see its action. And there, but get in touch with Gary Donaldson if you want to know more about that. And it is 366A. That horse is the lot number. They're going pretty good on that. They're playing around with the zoom and everything on the footage there. So, yep, get involved with that going forward. Rightio, that's a wrap for this week's show. A couple more things coming on this week. We'll have Woodlands winners. There'll be plenty of content coming out for the team from Aldebaran Park, Harasta Trotters, or Yabby Dam Farms, as they are selling the horses. Jamie Lee, you're late to the party. You are tonight, but Jamie Lee will be there. We'll catch up with Jamie at the sales complex. We might catch up on the Friday night. Lower Long Farms, plenty more to come out there as well. So please go to nutrientstandardbred.com.au. Check out all the yearlings. You never know what you're going to find. Get there early enough to be able to inspect them and spend the day around there. So yeah, and please enjoy yourself and have a little bit of fun. Grace Jones, hello to you as well. There's a few people on there, but yeah, thanks very much for joining me. That's a wrap. On Loose Lines, I don't reckon I'll be doing next Monday night. I will be honest, I'm fairly cactus. It's been a pretty solid few months, so I may have a week off from next week onwards, but after that we will definitely be continuing to ramp it up. We're going to get more guests on. We're going to change it up. I'm going to go do the same thing. I want to get it more interactive. I want more people to fire the questions in and get involved. We're going to get different horses, Welshie and the crew. We're going to talk whatever we want to talk and have some fun, because we need this industry to grow. We need people to have fun. I need to say hats off to clubs like Cambridge. Just remember, follow your dreams. We talk about these horses. Cambridge is a provincial track. There's metropolitan tracks in New Zealand. They weren't able to pull off, I suppose, what these guys have pulled off, and it's a fabulous night in very, very trying conditions. So follow your dreams in this industry, and you never know where you could end up. But yeah, I think we need to continue to grow trotting, but continue to grow the horse involvement and have some fun. I'm going to say that's a wrap. Thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. Didn't get a comment at all on my YouTube account, but that's okay. I've got to continue to grow that. So if you get on the YouTube, follow Campbell's comments. That'd be terrific. I've had something. No, that's just people sharing my feed on Twitter, so that's good. But no comments as well on that. But plenty of comments here, so I really do appreciate it. Look forward to seeing everyone. Please, if you walk up to me and look like I don't know you, just introduce yourself. I appreciate it. I'm very humbled by so many people that come up and enjoy what we do. It is a lot of work. Marie helped me the weekend trying to get a few of those tiles up as well. The Yabby Dam Farms draft is there, so make sure you go and check out those. Go to Yabby Dam Farms for all the links there. And the Aldebaran Park draft is there. As I said, missing 327 is a horse that is missing there. I apologise for that. A filly by use to me, so make sure you log on to that one. There is actually, I forgot this one. I haven't mentioned this one. Bugger. But there is 10 horses. Should have mentioned this with Bardo. Sorry about this, guys. 10 horses, NZ sire stakes eligible. I'll put them on my New Zealand show tomorrow. But yeah, if you are looking at purchasing a horse and potentially racing in New Zealand, There they are there, 245, 276, 279, 280, 283, 317, 320, 332, 333 and 350. You'll be able to see those there, but that is just another selling point. But if you are, there's a few New Zealanders on there watching at the minute. I know you're there. Yeah, good little footnote to know. Break up at, I think it's nearly 50-50. 1, 2, yeah, it is. 5 paces, 5 trotters, all eligible for the NZ size stakes, and that is why Andretti was over there the other day, because he was a New Zealand size stakes eligible horse. No, because he's by Huntsville. I was going to say he's not, but yeah, being by Huntsville, he's not eligible to be over there. His brother. So yep, but please get involved and have a bit of fun. That's what it's all about. Thank you. I'll see everyone next week. Hopefully, we'll be there, but I just don't know when. But hopefully, I'll see you at the sales. So Friday night at the trots, or at the sales over the weekend, please, and have some fun. Bit up. Have a bit more fun. Catch you all next time on Loose Lines. Thank you.